What you're hearing right now might be the way that you're working on modes and scales, and it's fine, but you're missing out. There is a better way. We're going to talk all about that, and that way will really help you internalize these modes and be super musical with them. Grab your guitar. I'll meet you right after this. Hello, this is David from the Wallerman Guitar Artistry. Welcome to this channel, which is all about helping guitar players around the world develop their musical personality on the instrument. Today we're going to talk about modes and scales. Surprise, surprise. Why? Well, because you might miss the point. Not your fault. It's just the way that typically scales are taught. There's something missing, typically. Now, before we get started, we're going to use some assets here, some backing tracks, some charts that you can download for free. The link is below. It is completely free. Just follow the link. It's a sign-up page that will give you access to this lesson and many other lessons on the channel for free, where you can download all the tracks and see the charts, and it's going to make your experience much better, and it's free. Okay, first of all, what is the problem with the way that modes are typically taught? Let me show you this. First, we need to understand what modes are. Modes are not what you think. A lot of players think that modes are the major scale that is being started from a different note each time. It's kind of true, but that knowledge alone will only allow you to play all over the fretboard and never really use the power of these modes. This is how typically this is taught. If we're in E major, I'll play my E major scale in any position, it doesn't matter. The 7 notes of my E major scale sounds like this. And we'll go an octave higher. Okay, that's the E major scale, also known as E Ionian. Okay, great. Great, now if I start that scale from the second note, play the same exact notes of the scale, but from the second note, well, that series of notes, it's the same exact series of notes that I had in the E major, but I'm starting from the second note of E major, and it's referred to as the F sharp Dorian position. Why wouldn't I call it E major? I don't know. You could, and a lot of players do. But when they have to play with Dorian, F sharp Dorian, they go back to that major scale. Like, okay, Dorian is the second position of Ionian, therefore I just need to use my Ionian position, major scale position, started from the second note, and I'll play Dorian, and so forth and so forth. And just talking about it, just talking like that confuses me really a lot. Oh my gosh, music should not be confusing. Music should be fun, expressive, and all that. So what is missing here? Well, what's really missing is 2 things. The first thing that's missing is the automatic go to that particular mode. It's going to save you tons of time, right? If you could play Dorian right away, right? Instead of going back to the major scale, well, that's a few microseconds saved. Great, let's save time. The second thing that's missing is, well, what makes this Dorian? As opposed to same exact notes, right? Well, it's the starting note, some players might say. Well, kind of, but not really, because when you're playing something, whether you start with the first note or the second or the third, you're still playing the same notes, and you need the ear of the listener to be reminded of that first note. That's what we're going to do. Okay, if that section of the video did not make sense, great, because this is going to. Here's the deal with modes. Modes should be seen as unique and individual scales. What is a scale? What is a mode? An alphabet. What is an alphabet? Well, an alphabet allows you to create words. Words allow you to create sentences. Sentences allow you to create stories. It's all about storytelling, right? Communicating ideas. So that means that there are a series of alphabets that can allow you to create different stories. Awesome. Now, you saw that these modes are related to each other. We just did that on that camera, right? This is the yuck camera, the don't do this camera, all right? This one will be the let's do this. All right, let's go back to the let's not do this. Let's not view modes as all tied to the same scale. We know why, right? All the weirdness, confusion, and translating any scale back to the major scale. No good. The real way to do it is to have a drone. What is a drone? A drone is going to be a note that attracts everything else. If I play a note by itself, okay, that's just a sound. Now, if I put that note in relation to something else, a drone, that note becomes alive, right? If I play another note, well, that other note means something else over this thing, right? Now, these two notes together tell you something. They give you a feeling, maybe a feeling of nostalgia, happiness, whatever it is. But this sounds different than this, right? So notes have power. That power is released when these notes are played in relation to something else. Now let's apply that to the modes. Okay, if I go back to my E major example, you remember the yuck camera there? Let's go to the yuck camera. I'm going to have my drone here, and I'm going to play my E major. Now I'm going to play that E major from the second note, F sharp. It's F sharp Dorian. Listen to the sound of F sharp Dorian. Does it sound different than? A little bit. It doesn't start with the same note. But it gives you the same feeling, right? Because I'm playing the same notes. I'm just not starting from the same starting point. And when you create words from an alphabet, not all words start with A, right? Not all my licks need to start with this. It sounds kind of boring. I could start a note from a word, a lick from another note. But it gives you the same feeling of being in this alphabet, right? Because I'm using the same alphabet. Okay. Now, applying this to modes, stop. Hey, stop. Thank you. I'm using a foot switch. Doesn't always want to stop. If I apply this to modes, well, we saw that modes, all part of the same system, don't really mean much, right? It sounds the same. It's just like starting new licks from different notes, and well, yeah, it sounds still from the same alphabet. Now, let's take that concept of modes, where a mode is the same scale starting from the second, third, fourth note. But that second, third, fourth note, we're going to make it so that they start from the same one. So instead of having E Ionian, E major, we're starting from E and then F sharp Dorian. We're going to play that F sharp Dorian, that way of organizing the notes, from E. Now that sounds Dorian. Now this sounds Ionian. You hear the difference, right? And so forth. And you can extract 7 of these modes from the major scale because there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 notes. Each of these notes is a starting point of the note, of a mode, and that will help you organize your thoughts. And your stories will all have a very particular flavor. Now that's what we're doing here with this drone. We're in E, and again, I told you that you can sign up below for free. You'll get a bunch of drones, 3 to be exact, which is not really a bunch, it's 3. 3 drones, E, A, and G, and then a bunch of scales to explore. These scales are all going to be attracted to that drone. And that's what makes the color, the story of this. And this is how you use them. I'm going to switch tone to something a little more interesting, a little more delay, and just something a little prettier. Over this E drone, and I'm going to decide to work in E Ionian, for example. Okay, let's try that. E Ionian. everything I play is going to be attracted to that. Okay? So I'm going to make sure to play E Ionian and see what happens. And then create words. Now, I'm not limited to that position. I can expand. But I'm still in the Ionian, right? Not all the words need to start with. I can start from any note. What gives this color is the intervals. I'm playing a root, a 1, which is the drone, a major 2nd, a major 3rd, a 4th, a 5th, a major 6th, and a major 7th. What if I change one of these elements? What if I changed, say, the 4th, 1, 2, 3, 4, to an augmented 4th, 1 fret higher? Well, that changes the color from here to this. It's subtle. It's a different sound. That sound has a name. It's Lydian, but that's how they're born. Just little changes in intervals. And as you explore the fretboard, you develop an ear for these modes. Let's try another one. How about Dorian? Remember, that is the 2nd note of the Ionian from the crap camera, but we don't care about that. We're going straight to Dorian. See how it sounds very different than major. It sounds different flavor. How about Mixolydian? And if you can get comfortable as you're doing this with the sound and naming the intervals, which is the blueprint of the mode, which makes a mode what it is, then you're going to be a lot more in control of your music. So your next step is to simply follow the link below, sign up to grab these assets. Again, it's completely free. And as you do that, explore the sounds of these, look at the charts, develop an ear for these modes, and soon enough, if you do this a little bit every day, you'll be able to hear, hey, that's Dorian. Hey, that's Lydian, because of those characteristic blueprints that make a mode what it is. See, it's very different than what we did at the intro, right? Just going up and down the scale. It's very interactive, it's very confidence building, and it's a fun exploration, expressive game. That's what music is. Thank you so much for watching this. If you like this kind of video, consider subscribing, hit the bell notification so you don't miss any of those. And thanks for watching. Grab the assets below. I'll see you very soon. Practice well.